Ahmad. I'm the Vice Chancellor at LUMS. And I want to start off first by a warm welcome to everybody. Dr. Parvez, thank you for joining us. Our Pro-Chancellor is here, Razak Saab is here, our Provost is here, faculty members, guests, colleagues, thank you very much for joining us. We are at recording Facebook Live, so may not be a lot of people in the room, but there are lots of people watching. And so thanks so much for gathering today. The idea is to be quite informal. And maybe I'll just start off by asking how many people actually have been to the pavilion in Dubai? Just raise your hands. Okay, not that many. So you're in for a treat. Okay. So one of the things we thought we'd do, of course you'll hear from the panelists, I'll just introduce them in a moment. But one of the things we thought we'd do is, you know, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and then videos are worth even more. So we put together a collage of videos for you. So you'll see about 10 or 12 minutes of that. And I think that'll immerse you right into the experience of the pavilion and the many facets, the amazing tapestry that you will enjoy just watching and listening. Some of our principals are also in that video. You'll hear from them. And then after that, we'll open it up for some conversations. And I would encourage you to think about either a comment or a question that you would ask them. We'd like to have some engagement with you. So we want to set aside some time for that as well. Okay. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the panelists and the principals who really made this wonderful, wonderful event happen. And I begin, of course, with Razak Saab. Razak Saab, he's the Pro-Chancellor of LUMS. He is, of course, a founding father of LUMS, the former advisor to the Prime Minister of Commerce, Textile Industry and Production, and Investment in Pakistan. He is also the founder of Descon, one of Pakistan's first multinational companies, which is involved in engineering and construction, chemicals, power, and inspection. He's also a former director of the State Bank of Pakistan. And as far as this project is concerned, Razak Saab provided, well, he shepherded the entire project. He was instrumental for funding that was necessary to make this happen. And so please welcome Razak Saab. We also have Mr. Shahid Abdulla. Some of you met him just a few months ago in January when he was giving our convocation speech. Thanks again for that. He is, of course, an acclaimed architect. He's a committed teacher. Yesterday he was telling me a few stories about his teaching, which I thoroughly enjoyed. He is the recipient of he is the recipient of the President's Award for Pride of Performance in 2014 and Sitara Imtiaz in 2021. Shahid Saab is also the founder, partner, and director of his firm and a founding member of the Pakistan Institute of Interior Designers, the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, the Citizens Foundation, and Hunar Foundation. He was the lead at the pavilion at the Dubai Expo, where he graciously hosted our alumni in the UAE for a private tour. And of course, as I mentioned, he was our convocation speaker. So please also welcome Shahid Abdulla. Ms. Noorjehan Bilgrami. Many of you have heard the name. She is here with us. She's an artist. She's a designer. She's a researcher. She's also an educator. Of course, she is known around the country for reviving traditional crafts of Pakistan. And she has taken that craft work not only across the country, but also overseas, where you, if you had the opportunity, you may have been part of, or you can look at the archives of the many exhibitions. She's had many solo exhibitions in the US, in Australia, in Sri Lanka, in South Africa, also in India. She is also a founding member of the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture and its first executive director. And Ms. Noorjehan curated all parts of the pavilion's interior, which you know won the silver award from the official adjudicators. So please welcome Ms. Noorjehan. And finally, not last and certainly not the least, Mr. Rashid Rana. He's an award-winning artist whose work comprises abstractions on canvas, photographic and video performances, photo mosaics, and unique works displayed at many exhibitions in various prestigious collections around the world. He's also a recipient of the Game Changer Asia Art Award. He was awarded the Sitara Imtiaz in 2022. He's a founding faculty member and the current dean of the Mariam Dawood School of Visual Arts and Design at BNU Lahore. And of course, if you have been there, or if you haven't and seen the picture, this famous exterior was designed by Mr. Rana. So please give him a warm welcome. So let's get the show started. If we can have the lights off and watch this 10 or 12 video, please enjoy it and think about questions and comments.
Expo 2020 Pakistan Pavilion, the hidden treasure. हम लोग दुनिया को बता रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान is a hidden treasure. प्रोजेक्ट ये करना है कि एक progressive Pakistan, a tolerant Pakistan, a beautiful Pakistan, a land of opportunity for our agriculture, a land of opportunity in our IT. Inshallah, we will have a wonderful pavilion, and we will all of us, and the visitors, सब लोग मिल मिला के कहेंगे Pakistan is a wonderful country. Pakistan Zindabad.
When I got involved in the pavilion, being an architect, I was looking at the architecture. I've not designed it, but it was already designed by a very good architect from Canada. So the goal was that we have to change the image by saying the truth, what Pakistan is about, where people don't know.
The project evolved over a period of time. It's 2.5 years ago that I started working on it. So finally it's happening with the help of so many professionals and contributors. I have to say that it is perhaps one of the most exciting and challenging project of my career, simply because I was expected to transform architecture into art, and that makes it one of the largest artwork that I would have created.
This is Pakistan's pavilion, and we've got this wonderful theme, which is Pakistan, the hidden treasure. The idea was that in the inner journey of this pavilion, let's show the world what Pakistan is all about. And it's through these magical experiences of our history, which is unparalleled in the world, where you have this huge variety starting from recorded 7,000 years to the present, and so varied. You've got an amazing number of religions that have gone through, and we've got living examples of that still continuing.
visit Pakistan one day.
This is the best.
It's one of the best pavilions.
People have to rediscover Pakistan. I think it has been put aside from the world for some time, but it's time to go to Pakistan because it's a beautiful country.
Definitely something amazing to go visit. I would really like to visit Pakistan after this.
I certainly want to visit Pakistan one day. I have to admit that I don't know very well the country, and there are a lot of things to discover in terms of nature, culture, religion.
That truly reflects the colorful culture and people of Pakistan.
I visited all of the other pavilions. This is the last one I've come to. Best one I've been to.
By far one of the best I've seen.
Open it up to the panel. I mean, you can understand. I had the privilege and was very lucky to go there twice, but you can understand what an immersive, amazing experience this is for anyone from anywhere in the world, especially if you're from Pakistan, to discover the hidden treasures that we have before us. You know, you've seen in this video some important facets of the pavilion, and also some of the amazing achievements in terms of traffic. I think they mentioned 100,000 people in the first week. I think a total of somewhere north of 1.4 million people visited the pavilion. And the awards, and there were several awards that were given. And we're talking about, I don't know, a total of 190 countries or 192 countries. 192 countries, and we get right up there on the top. And that does not happen randomly. It happens by design, and you can see the designers in front of you. So I guess the first question I'm going to ask our colleagues is, of course there were challenges, and you overcame them. So what's the top challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome it? Why don't we kick it off with that?
I'd like to respond to that. I think the biggest challenge was that we could make a beautiful pavilion inside. And if we know that when you go to an expo, you don't have time to visit more than 6-7 pavilions max in a whole day. And we realized that whoever is coming to the expo probably already has a list of pavilions they'd like to visit. Of course, the country they come from, they will visit there, and then they will probably have Japan and Germany and whatever. And Pakistan will never be on that list. So no matter how nice a pavilion you make, how on earth are you going to get these people inside Pakistan? They see Pakistan, yaar, chodo yaar. So that I thought was the biggest challenge initially, that Razak Saab and myself were talking about, that how can you pull people in? I mean, there are various crazy ideas came about. I said, well, we can have soccer balls, you know, giving away for free. Where did you get it from? Oh, I got it from the Pakistan Pavilion and all kinds of. Then I said, maybe we can have a rickshaw out there driving around with truck art colors and kuch to malum ho gaya hum wahan hain. And I would say that, I mean, to every solution there was a problem, okay? And by the way, that was told to me by a professor of mine in the 4th year of architecture. I had one more year. He says, always remember, guys, to every solution there's a problem. And it was so true out here, you know. And I would say, so this was the biggest challenge on how to bring people inside. And I think it was fated that the pavilion was designed by this Canadian architect, and after we got in, this team, the inside was also designed by that group who was actually initially doing it, and we thought it was not good enough, so we could scrap everything inside in planning, and that's when Noorjehan took over. But we said, why don't we leave the structure? Abhi hum sirf naksho ki baat kar rahe hain, so why don't we leave the structure the way it is? Because sari calculations hui hui thi, sara uska structure bana hua tha, whatever. But then we were really afraid that, you know, they looked like old women's petticoats that were put together. And so hence, our hero was here. Then we took him there. Now here I'm saying that was a solution and it was a problem. What the heck do you do with this pavilion? And agar वैसी नहीं होती, वो इतनी बुरी, इतनी ugly, he would have not been called. So it was God sent. We decided to leave it the way it is, and we had to bring him in. And what he did was magic. And another thing that we did, we didn't put our label up there, Pakistan, as everybody did. We put it on the ground. And everybody used to walk there and say that, wow, yeah, what a pavilion, yaar, ye kaun si pavilion? Kiski hai pavilion? So everybody just kept on asking each other. So that became very, very nice as a curiosity. And somebody said, oh, I know. So, and then somebody used to read there. And that actually became a picture point, because you could stand there and take a picture saying Pakistan and pavilion at the back with his magic. So I'm saying that all of that, the challenge, was answered by Rashid's work. I'd like to give him a hand.
Please clarify, kar dein solution ho ya problem tha?
But listen,
It's still ambiguous.
there were major problems in that also. We took a solution and we said, well, how do we make it happen? You know, COVID in the middle.
Yes.
And the contractors were a little skeptical. Humne ki yaar approve to kara diya, now what? And then we get a call, where's Raza? Oh, there he is. So Mr. Elukobond, he was in Zurich, and I call him and I said, yaar, the contractor is saying, ki, you know, I can make the whole thing, but I don't have the Elukobond. And the ships aren't coming from China. And I said, oh no, everything is ready, so solution, there was another problem. So I called him up and I said, yaar, buddy, I don't care what you do, you have to make it happen. And I don't know how he made it happen. So
for the benefit of the audience, Elukobond is a brand that creates aluminum composite panels, which have been used in the exterior work that we create.
Yeah, well, it's made usually for covering up building facades. So here it was used extremely creatively as artwork. So thank you very much, Raza.
Rashid, you actually mentioned in the video that one of your big challenges was to take architecture and transform it into art. You want to speak to that, or to what were your challenges and solutions?
There were two kind of challenges. One, I don't think I can openly speak about over here, even if Razak will allow now. So those are the usual problems that we face in the country. At least we can discuss maybe later in the discussion the recipe, overall general recipe that we can take from this project, and if it can be applied on other things that we do in the country. But in terms of challenges that I can state, because I have worked in my career with professionals abroad, especially when it comes to fabrication and execution and general dealing. So I had never worked with the government. So I was a little concerned, but still I was very much wanting to do something where I can help change the perception of the country. So I'm an artist, but I have to confess art is an elitist activity, you know, everywhere, anywhere in the world. So whatever you do, you usually in the narrow sort of domain of the galleries and museums. And I thought this is a great opportunity. I saw this as a great opportunity from the get-go, that here we could create something that send a very different message out. And of course the challenge was there that I didn't have the freedom to play much with the form, and all what I had to do with the existing form and somehow transform it into something that can pull the crowd, and as well as it can be, you know, seen as an artwork of its kind, of that scale. I'm a visual artist, and so mostly works that I create are somewhat descriptive in their nature. They do carry representational imagery, and here the expectation was that I would create something of the same sort what my branding is usually. I've done a number of things, but people usually see me as an artist who creates photo mosaics with a macro image with the help of micro images. Somehow those images became more popular amongst the audience. So over here too, the expectation was that I will create a macro image, which will be wrapped around the building, and then it will be comprising of smaller micro images. And I had taken that route myself initially. So I thought this is a tested and tried strategy. Then I thought that and I'm glad I made that decision and I stuck to that goal and that decision, that the building cannot have descriptive images, or it has to be very, very simple. So within the very simplicity, I have to seek complexity both informally and as well as conceptually. So that was the other challenge. The biggest challenge other than that was the fact I wasn't sure what I was realizing through numerous 3D renders, thanks to my team, that they put up with me, because friends call me perfectionist, others call me control freak. So they're the same thing. So I work with lots of options. Or even options have their own options. But with all that visualization to the maximum, naturalistic details, I wasn't sure that the fabricators and the team we were going to hire in Dubai would actually be able to realize it to even 90%. But they did manage, thanks to a company named Dynamic Motion. So this was another challenge that we met.
How many pieces were there on the structure?
What we ended up using, those who have visited Dubai, they might have noticed that we didn't cover the entire building because of shortage of funds. So 24,000 unique panels have been used.
Wow. And with these, so were these engineering solutions with some constraints that sort of led you to change your visualization?
Not dramatically. So, there were lots of challenges, but I have to say that Razak Sahab totally supported, and he had a faith in this project till the very end. And then Shahid Sahab, who was the lead for this project, also had faith, and there was no interference. And then with all that support, we had Javed Idris Sahab on ground there in Dubai, because of COVID, we were all sitting here in Pakistan working remotely via Zoom. And he's the one who had to make it happen on ground, on site. Comes with an engineering background. Lucobond also helped with some of the solutions, and the company Dynamic Motion also, I think, played a huge role.
Thank you.
I have to, he's actually hidden half the things.
Just half?
By the way, you don't know this, the government, when you showed your presentation, you had your images and, micro image to a macro image.
Ji.
And I got a call from the government that he hasn't used any images here, so I don't think we should pay him. I said, are you out of your mind? Nahi sir, wo to inhone apna kaam aadha kar diya. Okay, they're the kind of things I had to handle. No, what I'm saying is that these 24,000 pieces, and he said it in his video, every piece was a different size, different shape, and different color.
Wow.
They were different. No. Why are you clapping? It was such a pain for that guy. And they were different by 2 millimeters.
Micromillimeters.
Sorry. Micromillimeters. And the color had to change extremely gradually, And I don't know how these guys even managed, okay, ye wala idhar aayega, to ye wala idhar aayega. And while the building was like this, and it was curved, and it was narrowing, and he said, I don't want any line not to, can you imagine that making these diamond-shaped things, and every line had to be straight in every direction, and but Allah was kind, and it happened. So once again, there were many, many solutions, and we had to overcome the problems. And then the Expo authorities said that we do not want any machinery a month before opening. And with those 24,000 pieces, there was no way we could have done it at that time. But they, after they saw what was happening, they allowed us almost till the last day that we were putting it up. And Allah was kind.
So you correctly pointed out the big challenge, of course, is to draw people in, and then you found a way to do that. But a lot of what happens at the expo, in my experience, was that there's a lot of word of mouth. You sort of tell people, hey, you know, this is the one to go to, or you ask people, I only have time for so many. Okay, now they started to come in. Let's talk about inside. What were the challenges and what were some of the solutions, Noorjehan?
बोलना शुरू करूँगी तो फिर ख़त्म नहीं होगा. It really is such a long journey when I start thinking about it. There were challenges from all fronts, you know, literally when, like Shahid explained, we were given the structure. There was a design that was already done earlier, which none of us liked anything about it. It had to be scrapped out. So it meant starting anew. And as again, what has been said earlier, it was called the theme that was given to the earlier designers was Emerging Pakistan. And we said, Pakistan is already emerged. Pakistan is not emerging. So what do we start off with? And to represent Pakistan, when I was asked to curate, that itself was like my entire being kind of collapsed. How do you represent Pakistan, again, in 192 countries, and you make it that special? And how do you bring the essence of Pakistan? Where do you start going from? And there is just so much. So it was literally, and the wish list, which was given by the government to me, was incredible, which I put aside. And I said, no, I'm not going to go by that. And so after a lot of discussions, we came out that we have so many treasures that need to be revealed. We need to change the perception of Pakistan. It's being looked at so negatively for every aspect, and what we have, our treasures, our qualities, what we all are really proud as Pakistanis, need to be brought out. How do you do that? I mean, there's so many abstract notions that, you know, how do you depict a culture? You don't want to put arches and say we are an Islamic state. How do you bring out the very precious, very, very special? It's actually very difficult to explain, even to put it in words. But everything, like starting from our history to our geography, which is incredibly diverse. Then, like I had said earlier, which you got the little glimpse of about our history, kitne mamalik hain who can boast on what we have? So how do you put all that in front? The culture comprises of so many different levels. So there's this whole layering that we have because of our history. So the cultures that we have, how do you sort of put that together, package it in a minimalistic, simple thing? Again, like we were told, 45 minutes is the maximum time a visitor will have to go through this. And we had 8 kind of spaces that way, in this way, ramp-like conical forms that you go through. So devising that each one is connected, so that from the time of entry to the time of exit, how do you make a person move seamlessly and provide all that you want to and be minimalistic? You don't want arches. And you've got this huge wish list. जिसमें मेरे बहुत सारे थे कि मौसीकी भी हो और ख़ास हो of every area. You've got to see that all the regions are shown, the fragrances, the colors. I mean, there's just so many layers in trying to produce something. So it was just a very difficult task originally to even thematically think through. But the minute that, you know, that line that I put across from the point of entry to the point of exit, that what we needed, that a person who goes through that should change the perception about Pakistan. And again, who are you targeting? You know, who is your audience? When you put up an exhibition, you know the kind of people who are going to come and see, oh, you're doing a film or a play. Here you've got an international audience. Then you've got our own people who are going to visit. हमारे खुद के जो बाहर के सारे लोग हैं और सबके perceptions about Pakistan, you know, there's the last thing that they want to be connected to is anything which is Pakistani. I'm not a Pakistani. I want to turn around. But how do you make them feel proud? How do you emotively bring out what is inside you? You know, where do you strike those chords? And we all have that. And so it was just a lot of discussions with a lot of people at every level. And then this was like an open forum where I had to be so accurate in anything that I put forth, because everyone waits to throw the dart. The minute you see that you've made a mistake in any of the facts or any little thing, aapne kaisi moseeqi kahan kya lagai? I mean, there are so many nuances, and then you're putting out text. Can you make a mistake in that? You can't. In all of that, we had COVID, as you said. Now I'm here. I think my job after designing it was like orchestrating the whole thing. I had to work with this huge number of people, and each filmmaker had an entire team working with them. And each one had multiple problems that needed to be resolved. So, I mean, to say the solution and problem, they were just so there was no time, like for 2.5 years, सुबह कब होती थी, रात कब होती थी, दोपहर कब होती थी, कुछ नहीं मालूम था. And had it not been for Razak Saab, really, it would have been impossible. So, you know, time didn't matter. I would just pick up the phone and call. Our people are stuck, they can't get into Bhiksha, they've closed all the doors. What does the team do? There are hundreds of people, you know, the team, the crew standing there, they're not allowed entry. The pilot that has been assigned to film is so old, and he's just not cooperating. All kinds of issues taking place. And that needed immediate responses, immediate resolutions. So, wo sare hote gaye. And we have a person sitting right here whom I'd like to acknowledge, Shahid Ahmad. Haath utha ke apna shakal batao. So, right at the last minute, you know, somebody whom I was relying on with showing the contemporary Pakistan was not working out. And so I had to change the person. And it was here, he's an alumnus of LUMS. And I contacted him and then started working. And it was just magical. Like Shahid said, mere waaste bhi yahi tha ki pata nahi ghaib se sare raaste khulte gaye. When I sit back and I think, how did this happen? Why did this happen? Because we were told ki bring Pakistan in the first 10. And I said, what a thing to ask. Impossible. 192 countries may bring Pakistan in the first 10. I said, Razak Sahab, aap bhool jaiye. And, you know, I mean, and in this short time, फिर भी 2 साल COVID, how do I have a boat to be made in Sakkar? I'm sitting in Karachi. The craftsmen are being pulled in from Punjab. I mean, हर एक हिस्से के कहानियाँ हैं. There are so many stories there that have to be actually really noted down and put together, because we have such an incredible country. We do. And it's the people and it's the jazba that each one had. I just cannot tell you the kind of emotions each one had in doing what they did. Had it not been there, it was impossible to have put this together. So, kahin se sab kuch hua, things started happening magically, and well, became second.
For all of those stories, there's always someone behind the scenes who's, as you say, solving even bigger problems that are not transparent or not in front of people like us. And Razak Saab, you have been also orchestrating at a level that I think would, befuddle the mind. So tell us something about your experience.
Thinking about it just now while I'm listening to all this, I felt as if I was the spare wheel.
Spare wheel.
Spare wheel in the sense that you need a spare wheel when there's a problem. That's when you need the spare wheel.
Problem भी हो रहा था कि रोज पंक्चर हो रहा था. That was his biggest challenge, how to handle all of us.
And it was honestly a miracle. It was like a magic hand that went through it somehow. It all came into, got into their place. It was the first time, I think, that a government and a private sector project was executed in time and within budget.
That was not the constraint, the
It's
budget.
Huge.
It was done within budget. I want to give a little bit about the beginning. The decision to go for the Expo 2020 in Dubai was done by the Nawaz Sharif government. The credit in the early stages, this is we're talking about 2016, 2017. If we have to give credit to one person, I would give it to Mozam Khan. He was our ambassador in Dubai at that time, and even at that time there was talk, karna hai, nahi karna, kis tarah se karna hai, ye wo. And he was the one who selected the spot. We will have the pavilion here, put all the pieces of the jigsaw together. So one must give credit to that, it was a beautiful location in the opportunity sector.
District.
Lovely location by sheer magic. Luckily, we had Lebanon on one side, which was a poor pavilion, and Bahrain on the other side, poor position. We stood out, beautiful. And we were the fourth pavilion after you enter. So anybody had to go to the American one, to the British one, the German one. You had to go past the Pakistan Pavilion and you look at it, wow, what is that? So these were the lucky things. For me, the biggest challenge was, how do you merge the bureaucracy and the creative team? It's all in water. Try all you can. You can't get them together, and the only thing you can do is act like a glue that will solve all the problems. And so that's why. And it did give sleepless nights to all of us. We laugh about it, we joke about it. We say we miss each other, talking to each other late at night. It was always at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock we were, because none of us had time during the day, because we were busy actually getting things done. So that was the thing. The other thing was the design was given. It was already done when the Imran Khan government, the PTI government came on the scene. It was done.
Of the building, design of the building. Yeah.
The design of the building was done. So you couldn't change it. And so the creative team, Rashid just described his point, and that was given. Fellas, let's not talk about changing the design. We don't have the time. COVID is on us. So you just learn to be creative and be within it. We loved his design from the time we saw it. It was a wow. Where's the money coming from? Don't worry, we'll get the money. And how will you do it? The bureaucracy saying, no, we can't do it. No way. Just leave it as it is, etc., etc. And Shahid, they just explained why we wanted something to attract people. Go to Pakistan Pavilion? Oh, come on. So that was the attitude. And then yes, no, do it, not do it. The bureaucracy saying no, don't do it. They're saying do it. And the credit goes to Shahid. He said, have faith in us. We will not let you down. The bureaucrats were sitting there. We will do it. Okay, fellas, no more talk. We're doing it. And I must say, there, him, his team, and there was a gentleman in Dubai, Javed Idris, a lovely engineer. And he said, Razak, I know how to do it. I'll go to Dynamic Motion. I'll sit in his shop and we'll get all the designs done and we'll bring everything and do it.
He was a project manager.
Yeah. And what a fabulous person he was. And he got it done. And, you know, there's some interesting events which he said there were few trees in front of the pavilion, part of the pavilion.
Thanks to Madam.
Yeah,
She
that
wanted
I'm
trees
saying.
up front.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm sort of
And
not happy.
I said, Rashid, are you okay with it? He said, absolutely not okay with it. How can you
Can you use some other terminology?
How can we,
my
creation there, take the trees out. Our ambassador has said, no, it cannot be done. Read section so-and-so with section so-and-so. It can't be done. I said, well, on a Friday, they're on chutti, chop them off. The trees were gone. He was very happy. We had an issue, Shahid just said, put our flag on at the center. Rashid said, you can't have a flag in the middle of my creation. Out. And so we had it at the bottom. These are some of the things that we had to do. But, alhamdulillah, like a magic wand, it happened. Expo did not say anything about chopping those trees down. Finally, everything went well.
The Expo was not allowing his design. Initially,
yes,
when we sent it, अब बताइए उन्होंने कहा नहीं नहीं ये आप नहीं कर सकते.
She said you can't do it. You're too late. We're now April 2021. 1st of October it was starting. She says you can't do it. Finally, after a position, she said, well, your risk. Yes, our risk. And magic work done by these people. And it came up like a phoenix. It was
The stance we took that we can do it. You know, we made this claim. So it was a very risky proposition. Had it not, been completed in time, because we were given only 3.5 months, and instead of sitting here, we'll be sitting NAB investigation.
Yeah. And there were so many, and they came up with what would be we came up with hidden treasures. What was it before emerging Pakistan? That no, Pakistan has emerged. Then there was 12 season, one reason.
Shahid's.
And we had so many others. And finally, it came up with this one. And
एक चीज़ I have to add, जो रज़ाक साहब ने नहीं बताई, what he did. In the middle of this whole thing, he calls me and he says, Shahid, it's off. I said, what's off?
Twice.
He said, the pavilion is off. We don't have the money. And the IMF has said that you can't throw money there while you're borrowing from us. माँ आप खर्च कर रहे हैं तो यार, it's off. I said, yeah, we can't do that. Then I said, why don't we raise the funds? So he says, do you have any idea how much funds we have to raise? We have to raise about 2 billion rupees, and all we have is a month. Wow. He made it happen. And I think
the Prime Minister approved only $5 million. He says, I'm not going to give you a penny more. You go and raise your own money. And that was the challenge. And I must say, full marks to corporate Pakistan. All the big corporations, all of them, they came up very, very generously.
Yeah, whoever you asked, they didn't refuse.
Yeah, it was not, they came forward. And that's what really made it happen, because to do the facade, that wasn't it was a piece of art, and you pay for it. It was a beautiful, we had the stuff coming in from China and from this and that. So there was a lot. Another thing, another big challenge, that's an unfortunate thing about our country, is it requires the collective action of all of us. And every time you went to somebody, the first thing they would say, "Ye to ho hi nahi sakta." You know, it's part of our being, sort of thing. Why? Noorjehan brought the best filming team, and I want this. So you ring for a helicopter. Helicopter for filming? Ye to ho hi nahi sakta. And then you start going from the top and start working down, and finally it does. The pilot, her team wants to be up there in the mountain as the sun is rising. And the pilot says, "Main subah 4 baje utho." Kamal hai. President is like, please, for Pakistan's sake. And these things happen. She wanted to film the Sheesh Mahal. She wanted to, you saw it on the thing. You ring the concerned people here. Film the Sheesh Mahal. Ye to ho hi nahi sakta. Go to UNESCO.
Yes.
अरे यूनेस्को को जाओ. हाँ हाँ वो इजाज़त देंगे. मैं नहीं दूंगा. So you go to UNESCO. Will you please give us permission? It's your country. It's your possession. What are you asking me? Madam, please just give a letter. What do you want to say? Yes, it's fine. So get a letter out, give it to him. Look, you've got it now. So all these things, it's Pakistan. So this is part of the, it's not a complaint, it's just the way we work.
And to just make the payment to get that heli gimbal for the helicopter. The State
another
Bank,
one.
Camera.
They just for the camera. I mean, you can't even, that's what I'm saying, it's endless. Every little thing, you can't even begin to go there. So but it all happened.
It happened.
हाँ भाई ये दोनों वैसे बहुत महंगे हैं. वो कैमरे का किराया 3.5 करोड़ रुपए just the किराया of the camera. Okay? अब वो कह रहा है यार एक रह गया मेरे पास. बस अगर आपने पैसे नहीं दे यहाँ तक, then it is gone. Your entire filming is gone.
This is in UK.
And so they were. खैर ये को मिर्च मसाले नहीं लगा के बता रहे हैं, बड़ा ड्राई बता दिया सब. So it was.
But there is one gentleman here, Kamran Sheikh. You did a wonderful job, and really, he took the responsibility for all the cooking and the kitchen design, dhaba, and that was all his. And my goodness, I never realized all what it takes to have a restaurant. He wanted to match the cutlery and this and the menu with the food and that. अच्छा ये भी होता है दुनिया में.
He wanted every plate to be a different.
Fantastic, fantastic.
You know, it was wonderful, the response we got from the first pavilion that I wanted to see was India's. You know, this thing that kya ho raha wahan par. They had a larger pavilion, 10 times our budget, and of course we're always looking expectantly at what's happening there. Halfway through, I wanted to come back. I will not talk about why. But it was wonderful, the number of Indians who came to our pavilion, and their response, और सबसे ज़्यादा खाने पीने का. They loved the dhaba experience.
So it was all in all.
My wife went to the Indian pavilion. she's not Pakistani, so she just asked one of the girls out there that, I'm very lost and, any good pavilions to see? तब वो लड़की है वो इधर उधर देखती कहती है, if you haven't seen Pakistan Pavilion, that's where you should go. मैंने कहा यार बस हो गया, काम हो गया भाई. मगर सबसे बड़ी चीज़ जो थी रज़ाक साहब, कि while our pavilion was coming up, all the pavilions had a wall around them because they didn't want anybody to loiter around. So we had no idea what was happening to the other pavilions. And इनका गोल जो था टॉप 10 का, हमें यही नहीं पता था कि वो इंग्लैंड क्या बना रहा है तो जर्मनी क्या बना रहा है. मैंने कहा यार वो इटली वो लैम्बोर्गिनी बनाता है, क्या क्या बनाता है, वो उनकी पवेलियन हमारी पवेलियन, और इनके साथ काम करना कि जी मुझे मिट्टी के प्याले चाहिए और वो लैम्बोर्गिनी बन रही है वहाँ. तो दैट वाज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज. रज़ाक साहब सेड जी अभी खैर कह नहीं रहे कि हाउ टू कंट्रोल हर. And since I was the joker, उसको जहाँ फिट करना है फिट कर दो, तो फिर मेरे पास आता था वो, यार प्लीज़ इनसे बात कर लें. तो anyway, तो खैर आई एम अ जोकर. तो वो चीज़ आई एम सेइंग कि देन टॉप 10 मैंने कहा यार रज़ाक साहब अब आप अल्लाह पे छोड़ दें, बिकॉज यार हम पूरी मेहनत करना है और पूरी मेहनत से और ईमानदारी से. देयर इज नो. तो ही सेड यस यार तुम सही कह रहे हो. आई डोंट नो इफ ही मेंट इट और नॉट, बट आई डोंट थिंक ही हैड अ चॉइस. मैंने कहा यार सिजदे में जाएं दुआ मांगे. ही सेड यार मैं तो रोज़ एनीवे. सो आफ्टर दैट एटलीस्ट आई वाज एट पीस कि यार मैंने तो अल्लाह पे छोड़ दिया. फिर इनका फ़ोन आया तो मैंने कहा यार रज़ाक साहब यह तो बहुत अच्छी बनेगी या काम बंद हो जाएगा इसका. अल्लाह विल नॉट लेट इट बी मीडियोकर. ओके, बिकॉज आई रियली बिलीव्ड इन इट. मैंने कहा यार देखो अभी जो इस वक्त जो हमारे सरबराह हैं, आई थिंक अल्लाह शुड बी हैप्पी विद देम. फिर अबाउट 2 weeks बिफोर ओपनिंग आई सेड रज़ाक साहब व्हाई टॉप 10 यार, जब अल्लाह पे छोड़ा है तो ज़रा ऊपर करें ना. Then both of us decided यार top 5. मतलब नाम निशान कोई नहीं है, अब हम कह रहे हैं यार top 5 देखी जाएगी जी. और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह यार, I mean everybody said this is the best. I mean you heard that and everybody said it's the best, but then what the jury looks for or whatever, कि जी उसने पानी कम इस्तेमाल किया है तो उसने ये कम किया है, ये कम किया है. सो हैंस बट जापान पवेलियन वाज वेरी नाइस. उनकी सेंसिटिविटीज जो हैं यू कांट मैच देम एनीवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड.
So many, we had to work with limitations, like things like he had said we've already decided. I couldn't change the lighting points.
Yes.
I couldn't change the flooring. We'd worked out lovely flooring. I couldn't do it. Had to work with this industrial awful paint, epoxy paint, which thank God so much was happening around that you didn't notice on what you were treading.
Yes, yeah.
But all the other details that one thought out, there were many cannot do limitations that we worked through. Magar वही वाली बात के हो गया.
But you know, Shahid was saying about where would we be within the top 10. Somewhere along the line, I got the video on the British Pavilion, and I was shaken. I was taken aback. I said, Ya Allah, this is the standard that they're going to do. How are we going to ever match it? And when it finally came up, it was poor.
Do you know
Zero,
that
no match to us.
UK ambassador met me and he said, he ran to me and he said, I really want to hold your hands. I said, what happened? He said, we went to Dubai and the UK pavilion was a disaster.
Yeah.
It was a real disaster.
And this is going online, by the way.
Oh my God. But this is true. I mean, it's good. You should hear this out. And no, you know, like what Razak Saab is saying, all the pavilions, not all, most of the pavilions revealed their pavilions on the net, on the website. So we would go, and every second day somebody would pick out and send it to us. So similarly, India and all the others were just phenomenal. And we would come, I would keep getting this, okay, look at that, look what's happening, where are we? Up Mehergarh mein phase hue.
7,000 years old.
7,000 years back.
मैं जो भी problems
Yeah.
की बात कर रहा था, you saw the laser lights, the green laser lights. Now you don't see the laser light if there's no mist out there. Like if you use a laser light, you don't see the beam. So the designer who was doing that, he said, "Gee, I need either a mist or smoke or whatever."
Smoke.
तो मिस्ट की पहले बात हुई कि यार लेट्स डू अ मिस्ट बिकॉज इट वाज गोइंग टू बी अ मिलियन ट्रीज के फॉरेस्ट में आप आ गए अंदर. सो वी सेड यार अगर थोड़ा सा टेम्परेचर भी इसका नीचे हो जाए तो इट विल बी मच बेटर. सो यू नो यू गेटिंग द मिस्ट एंड यू फील दैट वे कि यू कम इनटू द फॉरेस्ट. खैर द सेफ्टी डिपार्टमेंट सेड सॉरी यू कांट डू द मिस्ट बिकॉज अगर नीचे फर्श गीला हो गया बिकॉज इट वाज अ रैम्प दैट यू गोना स्लिप. अच्छा भाई, solution, problem. So we said, yeah, okay, so why don't we do some smoke? I said, yeah, get some smoke machines. अब ऊपर smoke machine लगाई तो दिखाई देनी शुरू हो गई ज़बरदस्त. But they had smoke detectors right there. पूरे उसमें यार मैंने oh my God यार, you know, before the sprinklers start on the entire pavilion, it could have been such a disaster. So smoke machine mil gayi, sab kuch ho gaya, everybody is happy, and suddenly the smoke goes to the. So anyway, तो उसके ऊपर फिर कुछ चीज़ें लगाई, फिर ये किया वो किया, but then it worked out. So it's और फिर इनको चिड़ियाँ चाहिए थी वहाँ कि यार वो कोयल नहीं आई तो वो मैना नहीं आई बीच में. और
that was all being worked out by this fantastic sound Saif Samejo.
So I wonder if we can get the audience in a bit and see if
No,
you
what I
have
would
questions. And
I would like to ask, I'm sorry, I would like to ask people who went there, is there anything that we missed out that you can add before the questions? Because we just
Ji.
Ji.
I have experienced it, and I would really acknowledge that it was a wonderful experience I had there. But one of the things, as you asked the question about missing something, my name is Abdul Rahman, and I'm an alumni at LUMS and working as an engineer in tech process automation. So I visited the pavilion, and I experienced that one of the things that was missing, I found that was the vision part. Like some of the pavilions I visited, they were showing that what they were standing maybe 10 years down the road, and so Vision 2030 or Vision 2040. So we actually did well to explore or to demonstrate the hidden treasure of Pakistan. But how we, maybe this is one of the way that at the government level, the national level, we do not have this vision or consensus of the vision. That could be one of the reason that we do not demonstrate. So, I mean, I would like to your opinion that you think about the demonstrating the vision where we stand, so that the people could see the opportunity out of it, or like just demonstrating what we have has given the better, perspective of Pakistan.
You're absolutely right. That pavilion did not give a vision of Pakistan 2050 or something. It did not. We discussed so much on not the vision part, but what do we want to do? Pakistan had such a negative perception of ourselves in the world that we had to talk about religious diversity, that we're tolerant, we're talented, we're this. We showed our industry, we showed our IT. You're right, we didn't say, which other pavilions did, that 2050 our country will do this. We didn't do that. And I think it's a point that we hope that the next government will do at the Expo 2025 in Osaka. Yes. Good point.
It's a country rebranding exercise opportunity in a way, and both the exterior and as well as the show curated with all its details, both components strongly presented the pluralistic Pakistan, the diverse Pakistan, and that's something we wanted the world to know. But I think lately I've been thinking that's something we need to acknowledge amongst ourselves, and that something is something badly lacking, and it gives birth to intolerance when we do not accept, when we do not let all the various diverse units come into a harmonious order to be one. So I think that's the message we as a collective can take away from this project. The other, sorry.
Yeah, hi. Tariq Sheikh. I've been living in Dubai for 12 years. I'm an alumni of LUMS. First of all, we were blown apart. I mean, words can't even do justice to what your team has created. Just two things. One was, I think, what he alluded to in terms of vision. I mean, we are a nuclear power. Somehow, I didn't see it there. So, if it was a conscious decision, I can understand. Right. The other thing was a bit of training on the boys and girls there. They were very good people. I asked someone, have you been to Kailash? Do you know anything about Kailash? And he was just saying, and I said, I've been there. Tell all the Goras, we are such a tolerant nation that this pagan religion still exists in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So, but hats off to you. I saw some Goras whispering, oh, we didn't know there were bears in Pakistan. Trust me, my own friends didn't know there were bears in Pakistan. So, Snow Lake and all that. So, beautiful. So, my only comment was, as an engineer and MBA, a bit on the technology part. I mean, okay, Sialkot, surgical instruments, cars, automation, but what's our own technology? So, a little bit of that.
That I think, आप जो अभी कह रहे थे कि आगे का vision नहीं दिखाया. We spoke about it a heck of a lot. What we wanted to show is what we are, what is nowhere in the world, and that is unique to our country. आप 2050 में आप मुझे बताएं क्या चीज़ ऐसी होगी जो आपने खुद इजाद की है. अभी आप कहेंगे जी देखो हम आईफोन बना रहे हैं जी, big deal यार. I mean anybody can make it. So there was a lot of that stuff that हम नहीं कह सकते थे यार ये हमने इजाद किया है और देखो 2050 में हम यहाँ तक पहुँच जाएंगे. So there were various things that we spoke of, yes, but in Hall 6 what we did show, where आपने वो जो देखा था आपका salt का वो कि we showed technology, we showed कि भी cars भी बन रही हैं, ये भी हो रहा है, वो भी हो रहा है, but we didn't really say कि यार हमने इजाद किया है ये. अगर हमारा robotics हो रही है, we showed the robotics, but it didn't, आपने इजाद नहीं की. तो और जो लोग दिखा रहे थे अपनी pavilions में, they had nothing else to show, but कि यार हम तो यहाँ पहुँच गए.
Sorry, I just want to add here, we were in the opportunity district, right? So the main aim also was that we are providing the opportunities there. So in 2050, the idea is for the other country, for others to also come and join hands to wherever it can be taken. You don't have to show things that are already evolved, but the opportunities that we have with us as a country.
Thank you. Let's hear from you. Go ahead.
So first of all, it's Hassan Mubarak. I'm an MBA alumnus of 2010, working with a startup here. A comment, a wish, and a question. A comment that it wasn't a visit to the Pakistan Pavilion, it was rightly an experience. And guilty as we were like a couple of friends, Pakistanis, we said that Pakistan Pavilion to aakhir mein dekhenge, wo to ghar jaake wahi dekhna hai. But we went to the Japanese Pavilion, Campus Germany, Italy, Lebanon, KSA, all of these pavilions were amazing. And we reached the Pakistan Pavilion close to Maghrib time, when it was like the sun was going down. And perhaps that was the best time.
Yes.
Because it was the transition we saw from sunlight to the elements, the artificial elements of light. And my oh my, I mean, we have not been able to come out of that hangover. I can actually close my eyes. I can be at one of those sections where they were showing interreligious marriage ceremonies happening, and the northern part of Pakistan. That is where most of the concentration of visitors were. Indians, Japanese, British, everybody sitting there. And वो एक loop में लगी हुई थी video जो थी. And that, you know, visual जहाँ पर आप zoom out करते हैं, K2 के नांगा पर्वत था, I think K2 था, जहाँ heli से आप zoom out करते हैं. I saw 3-4 couples who kept sitting there and saw that loop 3 times.
Really?
So it was so amazing, and you had like South Indians with their saris. You could identify they are from India. They were sitting there and they were mesmerized. So well done. Thank you very much for doing this for Pakistan. I know it was such an impossible. I go to trade exhibitions and stuff. I mean, it's such a disappointing experience having to visit the TDAP pavilion and all of that. But this was like in another league. So that's the comment. Wish is, can we have a permanent fixture of this whole experience as a museum or an archive of sorts? Because I cannot imagine, it pains me to think that all of that would have been torn apart once the expo has finished. So a reenaction or maybe an archive in the form of an audiovisual representation, like we have the Citizens Foundation has done an amazing job with the National History Museum at Iqbal Park, right? Something of that sort, maybe not on that scale, but it's our own land, we can do that. So that's the second thing. The last part is, what's the plan for Osaka? I'm sure that, inshallah, you guys can work together again, whatever government it is. But I think whoever is in government is inclusive enough to let the best people take the charge of it, like you have done.
देखिए हमने अब World Cup जीत लिया. Now we are all going to go into politics. So we'll leave it to that. Let the others come up with other ideas. But we have set a benchmark.
Well, I'd like to answer one of the parts of it. We have identified certain things inside which I think are museum quality and perhaps not easy to redo those. And we've requested TDAP to bring those things, and I think they are attempting to do that. There's a price to pay to pack and freight it here. Now it depends on what what really will happen here. We have to wait for that. My suggestion was to look at Lokvirsa, for example, clear it up what it has, because the space is lovely, and we can certainly do it. There's no reason why. The films played a major role in it, and the films are very easy transportable. In fact, I had suggested to Razak Sahab, this should be in the 4 important cities, Islamabad, Karachi, Lahore and Quetta, because it's so important for our youngsters to study. There were so many Pakistanis who went there and said, oops, we didn't know Pakistan had this. We didn't know that we had landscape like this. We didn't know we had these rituals taking place. Ye hamara hai, ye abhi bhi ban raha. And literally from the minute you enter, the minute you leave, everything was made in Pakistan. Everything was done now, except for about 4 Kalashi old costumes that I put in there. Every inch was newly done. So it's all possible now. So yes, I think we should form a pressure group. This is a great moment to begin, and we should request कि वो आ जाए. बहुत आसान है बाकी का pad करना, because we've got all the films. We've got the sound, we've got the music, you've got the designer, curator to take it through, and it can be adapted to any space, because here we worked with the worst that you can ever imagine. No room had straight walls, no 2 walls matched, and nor was you were either constantly, you're kind of climbing, you're like this. So if you do panels made here, how do you put the panels? I mean, there were things like that to resolve. Simple thing, जो शीशा कारी है या जो भी panels हैं या आप film देख रहे हैं, आपको पता ही नहीं क्या क्या हमने किए हैं ड्रामे, काला काला का कितना पेंट किया, कितना छुपाया.
It looked absolutely natural. It looked like everything was designed for the Amazing.
I think to underscore that point of the real value is educational, and being an educational institution, there's a very strong connection that we should do our part, whatever the part you require us to do, to make sure that those treasures come back home where they belong.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Very good suggestion.
All we require is about 15,000 square foot of space. It could be a warehouse, it could be anything, and we can bring that whole thing and go through the journey, the entire journey, 15 to 20,000. And
So
that's
we
what I've
come
been
work,
saying.
that's fine. Less than that is
So it
also
could be,
okay.
it could be a hall in one of the expos out here. तो आपकी एक्सपो है, कराची में है और जो हैं, and we had actually discussed that earlier, but अब वो कोई गवर्नमेंट का नहीं है. एक चीज़ मैं लास्ट सर, मैं कुछ ज़्यादा ही बोल रहा हूँ, I think.
As always.
नई बात नहीं है वैसे.
नई बात नहीं.
No, I said that at one point, इन्होंने जो कहा, she is the one who came up with the caption, Pakistan, the hidden treasure. When I was going there, and I said, yeah, I know everything about Pakistan. You know, I was born when Pakistan was born. मैं सब देखा हुआ है. But I tell you, I did not know 50% of the things that I saw there. Now, after that, I realized that your campus is a hidden treasure. You are a hidden treasure. All of these people are a hidden treasure. You know, the moment you say these things, because Pakistan जो है यार ये जन्नत कौम है. I will repeat that. मैंने खैर convocation में भी कह दिया था. Because we, वो एक लड़की यार माउंट एवरेस्ट पे पहुंच गई यार, क्या ज़रूरत थी भाई, पहुंच गई. You know, so I mean there are enough crazy people here who are doing things because they want to, and who have achieved things, and of course being the most charitable nation on earth and the most giving. Is what Razak Sahab, if you want, I can raise about 50,000 rupees right now. No, I mean if I ask you, yaar, we need to do this, yaar, I need to have 2,000 rupees each. I don't know how many of you, if you don't have it, that's a different thing, but I don't know how many of you will not give. And if you do this in the US, आप अपने भाई से भी मांगेंगे, तो ये कहेगा, so when do I get it back? You know? So here I'm saying that we are very hospitable, we are very giving, and we are a wonderful people. That हम anyway.
We are.
अच्छा ये कह रहे हैं यार कंट्रोल में रहना जरा मैं तो.
Wonderful. Please go
There are
ahead.
some questions. Yeah.
Ji.
Let them speak.
Mic दे दें please.
My compliments to this team under your leadership, Razak Dawood sahab, the dream team that you have put together. They're all icons in their respective fields. I've been in this business of trying to project a soft image of Pakistan for nearly 40 years. I didn't succeed much for reasons I don't want to mention here. But ये जो आपने कारनामा किया है सबने, I think this is the ultimate. This takes the cake. And I can see आप बैठी हैं नूरजहां बिलग्रामी साहिबा, शाहिद अब्दुल्ला साहब, आप, Rashid, Rana and Razak Dawood sahab. I think what you have done is just amazing. And the gentleman who is now the ambassador there, Afzal Mahmood, he was my second secretary in Canada. When I joined the office in Canada, he said, sir, ek system hai of inventory, aap take over and hand over kar le. So when I was taking over charge, there were 6 paintings of enormous size, about 14 by 6. मैंने कहा किसकी paintings है? He said Sadiqan. I said in Canada, in Ottawa, Sadiqan. He said there was an expo in Vancouver many years ago. And Sadiqan had come here and he has done that. And since the government of Pakistan didn't have the funds to transport them to Pakistan, so they were sent by some somebody to Ottawa and they're lying in the basement.
Gosh.
Good Lord.
Oof.
So I went there and they were all there. I took pictures of those, sent the pictures to Pakistan. Riaz Muhammad Khan, my friend, was the foreign secretary. He said, "Do foreign bhej do aur 4 wahi laga do." So this was so many years ago, I think 30, 40 years ago. And what I see today, mujhe wo yaad aa jati hai purani baat. So the other thing that I wanted to say, Mr. Razak Dawood, there were rumors that possibly this excellent, this remarkable pavilion would probably be dismantled or would not allowed to continue. If you ask me, if I have a choice, I'll close down the embassy in UAE but retain this. You know, I think that will be a better projection of Pakistan than having an office in Abu Dhabi. We have consulates all over. They can do the job of issuing passports and visas. But you know, the point that I'm trying to make, that people like yourselves, if you can form a forum and request the government that not to do away with this and take it up officially with the UAE government, and I'm sure they would listen to that. Thank you very much once again.
I'd like to.
Sitting there, it was magic on the table, and I don't think anybody's addressed the basic issue: who picked these three? Who selected these three? मुझे कोई मिनिस्टर का भांजा नजर नहीं आ रहा यहाँ, मुझे किसी का मामा नजर नहीं आ रहा, तो ये कैसे ये तीन लोग अपने मेरिट के ऊपर, and I think that's the lesson out of the whole thing, that if the process is right, if the process is right, the result is good, and I think that needs to be highlighted more than anything else.
Can I answer both those questions? The answer to Parvez's question was actually Shahid was selected. I knew him. And then he said yes, he's willing to do all this work pro bono. He would give all his time. And then to build the team, the credit goes to him. And he built it, and I did not know Rashid, I did not know Noorjehan. I'd heard of Shahid, but that's it, the credit is, he's the one who brought all of them. And then many people he brought on. There were some who were not here, whose names were not mentioned, they should be. Nahid was one of them. Yawar was another one.
Kamran.
Kamran I've mentioned. There were so many. So that's, you're absolutely right. And the jadoo was, if there was a jadoo, let them perform. Don't keep, protect them. And that's all it was. And the genius of the creative review committee, the CRC as we called it, they did it. Answer your question, Shahid, thank you for your wonderful comments. It's something that's bothering all of us. कि ये pavilion का क्या होगा? Is it going to be demolished? Is it going to be क्या होगा? As of February this year, I went to Dubai, met the minister, Reem Hashmi, a lovely lady, very, very competent, Harvard graduate, blah, blah, blah. And myself and our ambassador in Dubai, he was with me. And I'll be very honest, what was the discussions? I said to her, why should we let this be demolished? We gift it to you, but just keep it. It's a beautiful thing. Keep it. She listened to me very patiently, and then she said, they always call, they don't know advisors, they only know ministers. Minister Saab, Minister, why don't we gift it to you? You take it. So that's where it is actually lying at the moment. And she said, we will transfer the land in your name. We'll give it to you for 66-year lease. Then she thought about it. She said, no, 99-year lease. The only thing we will ask you is that whatever you do with it, you have to get our permission as to what you do. I asked her, why do you want our permission? Why are you asking for your permission? She said, very simple. Brazilians were thinking of creating a nightclub in their pavilion. So that's the only thing we don't want you to do. So get our permission. So then we came back, and my job, I told her straight, look, I have no authority to say yes or no to you, because that is the authority lies with the Prime Minister. And I will put the thing before the Prime Minister. We made out a summary, sent it to the Prime Minister's office. That's what it is actually lying right now when we know what has happened from March onwards. Unfortunately, that meeting never took place. I had two items on the agenda, what to do with Expo 2020 and what to do with Expo 2025, because that's coming up now before us. So that's where it stands. And many options are available. Should it be part of Ministry of Culture? Should it be part of Ministry of Commerce, where it is right now? And what to do with it? I've got my own views, which I put down in the summary. And that is basically to make it run as create an SPV, run it on commercial line, let it be a Pakistan business and trade center, and let companies go there and display their good, and we charge them and we provide a proper service. There is a auditorium in there. There is plenty of space for people to display their things. Many things can be done, but the one thing that is I feel right now missing is the love, the passion, the desire. Wo khatam ho gaya hai. Let's be very honest, because of what's going on. Somebody has to take it and run with it. It requires what you saw in these people. And honestly, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So we're going to start wrapping it up. You wanted to make a comment and then one more question, and then we'll wrap it up.
I just wanted to add
Is a question there?
Okay, two more questions.
I just wanted to add to what
two of them. Let
Masood
them
Sahib
have
was
these
saying about this being an exception. Let me share an observation a friend of mine has, and I tend to agree, that countries like ours in the global south, or let's speak of just Pakistan, we excel in individual achievements. We have produced people like Faiz, we produce people like Dr. Salam, Nusrat Fateh, Wasim Akram. We do that. But we are not so, we don't excel in teamwork oftentimes. And this particular venture has been a great example, an exception. So what really different happened, and that you've already pointed out what happened, that on merit, professionals were engaged. But other than that, each one was given their own mandate and their own space to work. And they did not interfere in other people's role. And I think that was the key. And that's something, if it can be applied at a larger level in this country, that people should remain wherever they're supposed to remain in their own roles. In every, I'm not just pointing out any one particular aspect, but it really is. And then the other thing about excelling in teamwork also is a feature of countries where there's no continuity of democracy. When the democratic institutions flourish, as a trickle-down effect, it affects the whole fabric of society. And we can, as a cricket match, we can beat any team on our day. We can play with a flair and with our sheer talent, but we cannot keep it constant and consistent simply because of the lack of democratic institutions in the country. The other thing I would like to comment, because atom bomb was mentioned. I'm not sure if hathiyar, weapons, armies, maybe important honge, but what really keeps people together is acceptance of each other when there's no you and us. There's no pagan or us, it's we. And it's the pluralistic Pakistan that we spoke about through this project. And jaise aapne mentioned kiya, all units are fractionally different, but they all come together in a harmonious order when put together in that way. And the piece I forgot to mention is called Wahdat al-Shuhud in Urdu, and in English we'll say unity of all that appears. So कौमें जो हैं वो एक दूसरे की acceptance से बनती है, हमारे यहाँ tolerance बहुत कम हो रही है. We've seen that in the political process. Nobody is willing to accept the other person. I think the moment if this is one thing we can, as a collective message, if we can take that forward, a pluralistic Pakistan, acceptance and tolerance, I think that to me is the real progress. Then the economies or high-rise buildings, they are there, but the real true measure of any society's progress is the amount of tolerance it has.
Assalamu alaikum, Mahar Rahman. I'm a faculty member here and also an alumni from 2011 BSc. So thank you very much for all the work that you have done. I was just thinking about what would be the best model to take it forward, and to me it sounds like it will have to be a partnership between universities and the corporate sector, where universities take the intellectual leadership that this group provided, and the financing and the support and the logistical infrastructure comes from the corporate sector. So in the last 2 years, I was running vaccines and mask interventions in Lahore, and all of that was sponsored by the corporate sector. We did not have to raise funds, it was research. And then we were also able to extend that throughout South Asia. So it was Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, as well as Sierra Leone. So I think a similar model is very much workable, where you have cultural prop-ups as well as economical and trade pop-ups. Because aapne ye one time kar diya, but you need ambassadors to take these ideas forward. The physical infrastructure is one thing, but it's the idea that should outlive the physical infrastructure. And to have that, give that idea is to make as many ambassadors as possible. And to do that, you need several cultural and economic pop-ups throughout the country. You were talking about Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, but I think we need to go beyond that. Sialkot, Multan, Faisalabad, Gujranwala, and have the people of Pakistan take ownership of the ideas that were put forth. And thank you so much for the work that you've done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. So I'm Shafaq Aftakhar. I'm also alumni 2013 EMBA gold medalist, working for Nestle right now. First of all, my first comment is to thank you all. I think आप अगर मैं उर्दू में कहूँ तो आपने खुशबू क्रिएट की है. वो खुशबू जो गया है उसने देख के उसको महसूस किया, और जो नहीं भी गए वो सुन के उसको महसूस करें, and everybody is getting really, really emotional about it. So there is something really beautiful that you have created. So I think that each one of you who is sitting here is an institution in themselves, and we really, really cherish you. We want to keep you going. For that matter, I would like to first of all thank जिसने पहली ईंट रखी से जिसने आखिरी कील ठोका. सबको हमारा सलाम, चाहे उसको पहुँचे ना पहुँचे, लेकिन हमारी पूरी नेशन के बिहाफ पे आई वुड वांट टू से कि उन सबको हमारा शुक्रिया और हमारा सलाम. सेकेंडली मैं आप सब में एक आर्टिस्ट देखती हूँ, और आर्टिस्ट कभी रुकता ही नहीं है. वो उसका काम होता है क्रिएट करते जाओ. So having that in mind, I would want to know कि have you guys thought of outdoing yourselves? like for example, अगर मैं request करूँ कि maybe Expo 2030 पाकिस्तान में करें, तो you know will we be able to see ourselves, जो लोग यहाँ पर हैं, हमारी अपनी कौम के, हमारे अपने जो इतने लायक और you know institutions जो हैं वो हमारी अपनी सरज़मीन के ऊपर ऐसी कोई चीज़ इससे भी बढ़कर you outdo yourselves and you create that for in your own land, in your own people, and we invite the whole world, we invite the 192 countries here to do that. So that was my question. Thank you so much.
I think you spoke about खुशबू metaphorically, लेकिन उनकी इंस्टॉलेशन में रोजाना गुलाब के फूल आते थे कहीं से.
Exactly. खुशबू का बहुत बड़ा रोल था इसमें. तो बहुत खूबसूरती से आपने कहा और आपका शुक्रिया सब तक पहुंचेगा इंशाल्लाह.
2030 में तो there's hope. 2028 I think Bilawal is going to be our Prime Minister.
So on a note of shukriya, let me also present just a few tokens. This is a session, actually a formal session of leaders at LUMS, and we thought what better leadership than the ones that we have witnessed and experienced. So small tokens of appreciation to our leaders at LUMS, starting with you, Mr. Rashid, Rana. Thank you.
I thought कि मुझे रज़ाक साहब को देना है. Thank you.
And this is for you, Noorjehan.
अपना भी बताओ कि कौन होते हैं.
वो कह रही है मुझे बता दो सबको कि ये एक्चुअली मेरी बड़ी बहन है.
हाँ देखो जो असल बात है नहीं बता रहा है.
Thank you. Thank you. शायद भाई. इनके भाई का नाम है अरशद वैसे. आप भी मिला लें.
Thank you.
Thank you for your great humor throughout. Thank you. A little something special for you, Razak Sahab. Thank you. Ji.
I think this team has, I'd really like to thank you for projecting such a great image of Pakistan, and just for that I think they deserve a standing ovation. You agree?
To all of you.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you for your questions and spirit. बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. I think we have some refreshments for you outside, so please join.